to stay in the, do not opt out. And between Jim and I, we were concerned that they're changing the rules that the state has set forward. You know, opting in, everything is exempt, okay? And the county wants to have it a host, community host benefit or something. And the state hasn't got any of that in their wording. And I'm thinking down the road, it could be a legal issue where the solar companies could take them to court or whatever, take somebody to court, yes?
On the state's website,
Yep,
they're clear that if you go the exemption route, removing the exemption, you can't discriminate between commercial,
right,
residential.
right,
The state says that it's not sure about if you go the pilot route.
well,
That's
pilot route is to opt out, right?
No. You leave the exemption in, but instead impose a pilot to
Okay,
recover the money. And the state says maybe yes, maybe no, that you can distinguish
Donnie
between.
gave me the paperwork last month about this, and,
That's why they're going, they don't want to do the straight removing exemption, because they can't discriminate between the different categories.
well, and this is where the bottom line is, the local assessor, which we probably shouldn't even talk about this until Jim gets here, but the local assessor has total control on the assessments.
Mhm.
And Jim has said he does not assess house residential solar as a add-on to the value of the home, because you're normally tied into the grid anyway, so it's just, you know, it could be a maintenance factor. He doesn't increase the assessed value that he has on his paperwork because of the solar system. So they're not exempt, but he doesn't see a true value in them. Added value. And the same with farms, so he's talking where if you opt out, the commercial solar systems do have an added value, because they are selling electricity, period.
They're also much bigger.
And they're huge. And there's a lot more
They
issues to
take up
this,
a whole field, not just a barn roof.
20 acres or more, yep. And the other issue is, most of the electrical service in this county, at least Wayne Marshfield is on the board, and he was head of Delaware County Electric Co-op, and they've had, I think it was 16 or 18 different applications or whatever, or interest in a solar farm, and only 2 of them could be utilized, because their power lines will not take the power that they're generating to put onto them. So, you know, it's, there's a lot more to this than simple solar farms. But I feel, you know, the solar farms, if they're a commercial farm, there should be, you know, commercial businesses that pay
Yeah, it
assessed
should
value
be
of
paying
some sort.
taxes.
But also, when you get into this host community thing and stuff, there's no time limit to coming up with an agreement. And the same thing on a pilot.
It seems like somebody's trying to complicate the issue.
It is complicated, there's no doubt about it, a lot of ins and outs. But we'll open it up to discussion, because Jim said he was coming to discuss it with the board. So is there, what else, anything else to come before the board? Mike, I guess you can bring yours thought up,
With the,
because it's quiet right now, nobody's,
well, since we got nothing to like, division, but I had to discuss this with before, because there was an issue, senior housing in the town, that the lack of, and usually the route is to have a person come in, put a housing unit in, as you try to with the school. So what I saw with my building, how Chris Gerchen and Roy had made that back room for Glenn, that we could probably do something that the state has never, I don't know if they thought about it or whatever. Any house that's a two-family or three-family or four-family could somehow do housing for the elderly, which would mean you could probably keep your grandparents, your parents there, whatever. And maybe somehow they could be grants given to keep it so that the parents and stuff could stay in the community instead of having a facility outside that everybody warehouses like they do downstate for their parents. So it's something that would have to like be formed with the committee and discussed. And I had brought it up to the grant people when we were doing the grant in town, and they said they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't know how to word it, and that a lot of work had to be done on it. So, I know my instance, having a senior in my building, I charged less, and I had a great tenant. And, you know, I would rather have a senior in my building than somebody else.
So you're talking like a ground level
Well,
apartment
yeah, we'd all
or
be mostly
assisted living? or-
ground level, but it's a very, kinda gotta work it out with a committee of people
Right.
that would be willing to discuss it, because there's nothing, I don't know if there's anything out there that's doing something like that.
Right,
Because everybody's looking at it as a private entity to make money.
right,
And even if you are just renting to a senior, and it's not your parents or anything like that, maybe you can't do it with your relatives, I don't know. They're just still better tenants.
yeah, right,
You know, so that's the benefit for a person that has, you know, is in the business of renting.
well, if there's, anybody has any interest to it, you know, you wanna, they get
I
over, you
would be
might,
part of it, yeah, because but I plan on getting out of it as quick as I can right now, I'm telling you. I wanna go up on the hill and just kinda take it easy and enjoy the farm and not be involved. But I would love to be on the committee since
Right.
you know, this idea kinda seemed to unfold in front of me as I was renovating the building and what I experienced. And I know we have quite a few rentals in town, and how it would be done, I don't know, I mean,
Right.
I think the grant people down in Delaware, I think Lori and them, I talked to them about that too, when we were doing the grant, they don't even know where to look,
right, right,
so, I mean, I've been on a committee once before, and it takes years, but I think it'd be worth it for the
Right.
town.
well, if there's interest, you know, could you have your, yes, Don?
Well, yeah, and I think there's a definite need, I mean.
Right, there's a need for it.
Myself included, all of us seem to be getting older. And we're gonna have to go somewheres.
Right,
And so if we can stay at home, the best place to keep people is in a home situation. But if it can be a situation where the children or whatever aren't the sole caregivers, so
Right.
you can have some kind of
I
service. which you
we
can.
don't know, you just don't know where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
right,
The idea is to not, we're walking away from the 20-unit nursing facility and you're looking, you know, I mean, even if you have somebody in there, I mean, what happened with, you know, Glenn is still kicking. You know, he would be there tomorrow, but I got in my head that I thought he needed a price increase there for so many years, and boy, did that backfire on me. Cost me a ton of money to have
right,
him out of there. So, I mean, that's the benefit to the landowner, or the
Right.
the apartment owner, that, yeah, you're not gonna make a fortune on this, but you're gonna get a really good tenant
right.
that pays his bills and, you know.
It doesn't put crayon on the walls.
No, they don't punch walls when they get aggravated, or maybe you would, I don't know how many walls I have.
But if there is interest, you know, Mike or Donnie, you seem to have interest too, you know, if it's anything that wants to snowball, you know,
I would definitely wanna be part of it.
okay,
Usually when we are in a committee, one of the people up on the board kind of supervises us.
Oh,
I'm not saying supervisor, but it's,
as a member of the board.
yeah, yeah.
Committee or whatever, right, the group. I'm sure there'd be, interest in it, yes. It's the idea of just, it's gotta get started and, crawl first, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was, I don't know if did you ever get a chance to talk to Walton? No. Okay. Not,
I just soon fix what I got.
Wow.
And hold on.
really?
Yeah, maybe just go another year or so and then get another pickup. And stay on top of that way.
Well, I'll bring up what, I was driving around the town of Walton, and they have a 2012 5500 Dodge. Cabin chassis and plow. Diesel, 6-speed. And they're putting it on the auction site. And I know last year, we got rid of one truck because it was shot. And we got an 03 that is tired. And I just thought, listen, we could buy a 2012 for half the money or something.
He wants to update
They're-
every
they're-
2 years
Well,
or
they're,
something.
they got a 2011 and a 2012. They've got the 2012 on the Auction USA International.
Yeah, auctions.
And it's got 65,000 miles. The reason they've got a new one ordered. And if this works out well, if they get enough for through the auction. And the way Walt talked, because I called, and he called me back and I talked to him this morning. And he said they would like they would like to see 25,000. But, it's a 55,000, no, he doesn't have the body on it, he's just got plow. It's only a 9-foot plow instead of a 10. But it's got 65,000 miles with the engine brake and everything too. They say there's no issues with it. It's got ether on it, which, well, urea, we've got, the new one has it too, right?
Yeah.
So they've had a few issues with that. But, I just thought, geez, if you can buy it for 20 or 25,000, you got a 4-year-old truck, and if it lasts 6 years, it might be, upgrade, because last year the Chevy was, did you plow with it last year? Or didn't have to,
Little bit.
probably.
Yeah,
But,
not often, but.
just, a reasonable truck, upgrade the fleet, and I found interest in it.
When's the auction?
That's Friday, I think,
Yeah, you
Thursday
call
or Friday.
And let go of the 03.
And let go of the 03 is what I would, I know, this is Mark's call, but it looks,
Well, way the price is what we buy them at. I know I said this a long time ago, but what we could do is, if you took these pickups and unloaded them like within less than 5 years, you'd probably get your money back out of them. A good share of that, and just keep rolling them over.
Well,
The problem is, what we're doing right now is, we're just dumping money, just keep dumping money into it. There's no sense we buy them at like $10,000 less than what would be out on the market.
Right.
That's why all the time, like, there's trucks on there right now that are headed right up to that 40,000. So if you roll them over every, less than 5 years,
right,
we would be in a lot better off than doing what we're doing right now. We've hung on to them. They weren't bad trucks, but then all of a sudden they're down and you're not getting nothing back out of them. So like this one, we'll fix the cab mounts and stuff, that's what it is. Get in there and just lift the
I
cab
thought
up,
the
fix
frame
it.
was kinda bad too on it.
Yeah, but where it is, it's not that big an issue. You can be welded up. And then get another year or so out there, try to get another one, and then start rolling all of these over, get them out of here. Unadilla is in a situation right now where they're being guaranteed the price back plus $1,000 every 2 years on a pickup. Changing out like the one like that I drive, so that way, basically, you wouldn't put tires or brakes on it. You pretty much do oil changes and it's gone, and you come in here and have no payment on it, so. Contractors seem to like what we do with these trucks, you know. If they were not at 10 and 12 years old, they'd be better off.
Right, right.
So is the 03, is that a problem now?
It's got cab mount problems, I
Yeah,
guess.
cab mount problems. You know, it's stuff that can be fixed. I think, I don't want to throw a lot of money in it, but I think at this time, fix it, use it locally, you know, for what we do around here, you know, like where Billy uses it out of the shop here to go get parts or something, use it like that. And then, say next year or something, buy another one, and then start rolling these trucks out of here a little quicker, get some money back out of them.
Would they take them back directly on a trademark?
I don't know how that, yeah, I was wanting to talk to Rodney about that. I don't know how it's guaranteed in the paperwork, but I don't know just how it is, that one.
Guaranteed the paperwork, what, $1,000?
$1,000 plus get the truck back.
$1,000 to get a new truck.
Well, but it has to be set up at the top of the line, everything.
Right.
Everything. But I was gonna talk to Rod, I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it. He's trying to update his fleet and stuff, you know, by doing stuff like that.
What's the investment in the new truck?
Depending, like, when I bought, or when we bought the one that I drive, that truck, we bought it at $29,000. The list price on that truck was $41,000 at that time. So if you ran that for 2 years, and I was guaranteed in the auctions that we would get our money back out of what we paid for that truck.
So is it?
Right, but, okay, you're not getting a new truck for $1,000. You're getting,
His way he's doing it is completely different than the auction thing,
okay,
okay? And that's what I wanna find out a little more
Right,
about.
right.
So what
So you
size truck
get
is it?
30 towards the next new one, which we assume is gonna be
Yep.
more.
It'd be a little more, yes.
Right,
So you're
But
paying
we're-
more than
we're-
just 1,000.
right.
Yeah, depending on which way we go. The way Rodney's doing it, it's a little more complicated than doing, you know, sending it to auction and doing it that way.
What size truck is the 2003? Is that
It's a one-ton dually.
1 ton? Okay. That's not what you drive?
No.
Nothing like that, no?
No,
You got
that's,
one-
that's,
yours
is
that's
something like that?
F-350.
So what would something like
What's
that
a
be?
one-ton? It's a one-ton
1
single.
ton.
One Mark drives a one-ton single X.
Okay.
Single wheel.
Yep,
The dually would be, what would,
you're up in the 40.
40, that we would have to pay?
Yep. But out on the market, if you go to buy that truck, you're looking at, you know, 50, 55,000, easy. Yeah, if you look at, I mean, she threw this up here, I had one in here. You'll see that a lot of these places are getting rid of them, like their big trucks at 9 years, and then they're getting rid of the pickups at 3 and 4, and they're getting their money back out of them. So that's why they keep doing that, they just keep rolling them over, and there's some nice
Then we could
ten-wheelers.
get 100,000, no, they're 20 years old. So the Volvo's almost 20 years old. The one is. We have an
How many
06.
miles a year
Or
will you put on
96.
this new Dodge that you just got?
How many?
Yeah, roughly
Or 20?
20,000 a year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Ford, I'm up around just plowing, with the plow on, 6,000 miles. This year I was at, what, 2,000?
That's the 554.
Yeah,
But you're 2,000, 20,000 on the, like the new Dodge? I mean, what kind of mileage is on your?
if I go to using that like I do this, I'm gonna be up in that 20,000 range.
Well, we should replace the Ford before we have you run around dually. There's no sense running around dually, check roads and stuff.
I'm not.
Especially a
The only
Dodge.
No, you're not, I know.
Yeah, the only reason I am right now is because we've had some issues with the one I'm driving.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Steering box died and decided it wanted to put me in the ditch. Not fun.
What year is that?
11.
11. How
That's
many
got
miles?
66,000 on it right now.
I know my brother's got a bunch of Fords and they're replacing motors on them.
Yeah, this has got the 6.4s, this has got the 6.7s, a lot better.
But I didn't know, you know, if we could, wanted to put a bid in like for 20,000 for the truck, if you got it cheap, you got it cheap, if you didn't, I mean, you know, you don't wanna pay, you know, it's like the grader last year, you know? You put a price limit on it and it went well over that, that's fine, somebody can pay that. I mean, is it something, I mean, I know we've only had the Dodge for a month. And everybody, I think, is happy with it, but that's,
Yeah.
it's a month. We haven't used it all that much.
After you pay the box.
Hmm?
Is there enough money in there to do that?
To what?
Pay the 20 grand after we pay for this?
I don't know, probably not, cause you still gotta buy a plow and you still gotta
Yeah.
buy all the hydraulics for that Dodge. There's 64,000 in there right now, minus the 36.
35, right?
We have to buy the price for the one we got. The one we got.
The Dodge, yeah, the hydraulics aren't on it. Plow.
So that 40, you'd have to do the same thing to that vehicle too, right? Hydraulics and plow.
What's
What's
that?
Well, if you're saying that the 1-ton dually would run new about 40, but then
Close.
you'd have to get the plow.
But-
you'd
Yeah,
have
not
to
cool,
drop-
no.
Yeah, it's not
Would not
included.
include.
Exactly.
And what does that run?
Or I get another 5,000. we got
About another
5 in hydraulics, 5 in plow.
So about 10 total. You have about 15 at
I'll have 55,
55.
55 plus in the Dodge, finished up probably. And we got 44, and we got 25, and we got 10 on top of that, so you're talking 56, 57,000 in the Dodge.
New.
No, yeah, that's a new truck. you just bought.
And there's no hydraulics on
No.
the Walton.
Yes, there is,
There is hydraulics. yeah.
and there's a snowplow.
And a snowplow.
It's cabin chassis with plow. It's not as, it's a standard instead of automatic. There's a big difference, I guess. It's got a black, it's got the cheaper
Yeah,
exterior package,
most all of them do.
you know.
Because we get them
Needs-
for what
needs
they
a
call
mirror.
work trucks.
It needs a mirror, I know that. That's the backside of that, passenger side. But, you know, that's just an option.
The bed and the sander off the Chevy will work on this Dodge.
I believe the frame rails are pretty close. They probably would. But I think we'd be cutting ourselves a little short. You know, according to what Paul was telling, you know, the time we pay for this box and stuff.
Okay, okay, that's, no. Another time, maybe. They said they might be getting rid of their other one next year, maybe. Depends on how well they do this year. If they don't do well, they'll hold on to it.
Why are they getting rid of their 12 before their 11?
That's higher mileage. Is what Walt said.
Does that mean Walt drove it?
Pretty much. Yep. Yep.
He does a lot of plowing. A lot of plowing.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Like
that
an oil change
fun
a
or
week.
not?
Huh?
Is that realistically, he does a lot of plowing?
Yeah.
Oh, he does, okay. I don't know if you were, you know, serious or,
That's for discussion, but not here.
okay, okay. Okay.
You
Okay,
can explain that, but not in the general.
yep. Well, is there anything else to come before the board?
Jeff,
Yes,
I'll run my mouth for a minute. First thing is that, since our last meeting, I'm sure you're all aware, 2 pipelines are now suspended. One ran out of money. The other one ran out of water permits. Doesn't mean they won't be back. The rumor has it, it probably will be a while for either one to either get through a court case or to get enough money to come back. So, I just want to comment, I don't take a whole lot of credit personally for them being stopped. But I'm sad to say the board took no credit for being stopped.
Pardon?
The board took no credit at all for stopping them. You guys didn't do anything to stop them. You did
Well,
go
you know,
through the-
no, wait, let's
you
not
went
go any
through the road
further
use
down.
agreement. You went through the road use agreement, but that's not stopping, that's protecting us. What
Uh,
else have
you
done?
gotta, you wait a minute,
Tell me,
please.
what else have you done?
Okay, go ahead, finish.
No, Jeff, you guys have
Go
done
ahead.
something, I'd like to know what it was. What did you do that
They
was
should lay on
counter?
the floor or something.
No, what actually happened, we let the process work.
Uh-huh.
I think, I mean, I went to those public meetings for FERT and DEC, and most of the anti-group, they bashed them right and left. And you know what? They did their job. That's all I can say. They followed through and they did their job, so they get the credit for this, nobody else. Because if they didn't, if they were bought or controlled or whatever it was, it would have been gone through. Give DEC credit for doing their job and looking at the permits, as everybody said they wouldn't do, if I'm not mistaken, at these meetings. They hammered on these people terribly.
We hammered on them to take and make sure that they looked at all the water quality issues. Jeff, they were gonna.
You don't think
follow
that,
the
you,
streams.
so you didn't think they were going to then?
We were
So
pretty
give them
sure-
some credit for doing their job,
Yeah.
that's all I can say.
I've even written letters thanking them for doing their job.
That's
and
good,
for doing their
good,
job.
and that's good.
Yes.
And enough said on the subject.
Yeah.
Next,
Now, next subject, can I talk another subject?
we'll see.
I wanna go back to the exemption or whatever they decide to do about the,
Solar panels?
solar, which also affects just, not just solar, it's wind and it's also farm energy. It's all part of that same law from 1977. It's all